Okay. This is ADP, adenosine diphosphate. So to become a triphosphate, it's just got to grab one more phosphate. So adenosine diphosphate is going to come up and grab a third phosphate to turn into adenosine triphosphate.
Okay.
So now we have one. Another ADP comes by, grabs this guy, ATP. Another ADP comes by, grabs this one, ATP. Another ADP comes by, grabs this one, ATP. Does that make more sense? Okay. And that's totally fine. Don't feel stupid. They've, like, quite a few of them have come in and had this thing explained before. So there's, yeah. So don't feel bad when you have a question that other people don't have, and more than half the time, like 70% of the time, it's proven that if you have a question, there's usually 1/3 of the same group that have the exact same question that just don't vocalize it.
That's why it's fun to go to tutorings with other people, because then they can build up each other.
Okay. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's good.
So we're going to be left with 2 3-carbon chains.
That's pyruvate, right?
It's called pyruvate or pyruvic acid. Okay? Varying on some stuff that you don't need to know. Okay. What happens if we do not have oxygen?
It just goes to lactic acid, right?
So we're going to do lactic acid formation, so it's fermentation. Okay? So there's fermentation, that's when it's no oxygen, otherwise known as anaerobic respiration. Like you've heard of aerospace, like planes and stuff like that, that's talking about air, think of oxygen. So aerobic is air, okay, oxygen, and an means without, like anti, so it's without oxygen. So what happens for fermentation to get the lactic acid is you have NADH comes in and turns into NAD plus, and then you're left with lactic acid. Technically it's lactate, but you'll hear lots of people say lactic acid. Just
So NADH comes in and goes to NAD.
So it gives a hydrogen?
Correct.
Is it the same NADH that we made earlier in the sugar
Yes,
cleavage?
it is. It is the same NADH because if you're doing this, you still need energy, even when you're not taking in oxygen. So we're gonna have to redo this process over and over. So we don't run out of NAD plus. For this step, we use the NADH to get NAD plus, so we can go through it again and again.
Until we get oxygen.
So where does that hydrogen go?
The hydrogen, it attaches back on this chain.
So the NADH, it just comes in out of nowhere, and then it goes into the.
Yeah, it's
just like the thing with the.
it's
the other one
in
that
the
was just floating
cytoplasm.
around.
It's because what happens is it's when things have affinities. There's what's your major?
Exercise. Phase.
Exercise phys. Do you have to take organic chemistry?
I'm not sure.
If you do have to take organic chemistry, that'll actually be a good thing because it'll help you understand these things better.
Yeah.
Because it really does sound like, so magic happens, right?
Yeah.
Basically. Until you take organic chemistry, and then it'll still feel like magic until most of the way through the semester when things start to click better and you're like, okay, I can start figuring these things out. And you start figuring out how things are attracted to each other, and you change one thing that makes it attracted to something else, and thus things can be propagated.
Alright.
But
Cool.
yeah, so it's floating and it magically knows what it needs to do.
Sounds
Okay?
good.